Welcome back! Tired of the same old beach vacations? Let's crank the thermostat way down because we're heading to Kyrgyzstan. Forget palm trees. Think endless snow, biting wind, and the kind of cold that makes you question your life choices. In a good way. This isn't your grandma's winter getaway. We're talking wild adventures. Skiing, snowmobiling, horseback riding, ice fishing, and sleeping in a yurt. Kyrgyzstan cold, remote, and probably a terrible idea. But that's exactly why you'll love it. Ready to freeze your eyebrows off? Let's dive into the top 5 snow adventures that'll leave you with stories and maybe frostbite for life. Let's get into it. First stop, Karakol, the ski resort where gravity is more of a dare than a law. You show up, see the epic Tian Shan peaks, and think, I'm about to become an Olympic skier. You rent your gear, channel your inner pro, and hop onto a Soviet-era ski lift that's equal parts charming and terrifying. Confidence peaks until you hit the slope. Suddenly, you're less gliding hero and more human snowball. Locals and kids zip by like snow leopards while you perfect the art of falling with style. But every wipeout comes with a killer view. Lying in the snow, you can't help but laugh at yourself. Here, success is measured in feet, not miles. 10 feet without a faceplant, victory. Each fall is a badge of honor, and the snow is so soft it's like landing in a cold marshmallow. At day's end, you limp back to the lodge, aching but exhilarated, hot drink in hand, mountain views in front of you. You didn't just ski, you survived. And the stories? Legendary. Maybe you skied backward down a black diamond or lost a fight with a ski pole. Either way, you've got tales to tell. By your 3rd or 4th wipeout, you start to get the hang of it. You lean forward, trust the skis, and accept that looking ridiculous is part of the process. Maybe, just for a moment, you actually ski, and it's magic. Will you become a pro in a day? Not a chance. But you'll have the time of your life trying. You'll leave with bruises, epic photos, and a newfound respect for gravity. As the sun sets over the peaks, you realize every fall was worth it. Because this isn't just skiing, it's adventure. Kyrgyzstan style. Here you push your limits and laugh when you fall flat on your face. Survived the slopes? Time to trade skis for horsepower in the Jurgalan Valley. Snowmobiling, Kyrgyzstan style. Picture this. Endless white valley, silent mountains, and a snowmobile that looks ready for a moon landing. The guide's safety briefing? This is the gas, this is the brake. Try not to die. You start slow, but then you see an open field of untouched powder. The guide nods. It's go time. Suddenly, you're flying across the snow, wind howling, adrenaline surging. You're Vin Diesel in. You carve turns, race your friends, and laugh so hard your goggles fog up. Of course, confidence leads to chaos. One sharp turn and you're buried in a snowdrift, digging out your machine with frozen hands. But that's the fun. Jurgalan is a playground for grown-ups. You catch air off natural ramps, get gloriously stuck, and ride through forests and open plains that make you feel like the last person on Earth. There's a moment when the engines cut, silence returns, and you're surrounded by jaw-dropping beauty. You share hot tea, swap crash stories, and realize these are the moments you'll remember. As the sun sets, you ride back, tired but buzzing with energy. You've just spent the day tearing through a winter paradise. Snowmobiling in Jurgalan, part action movie, part survival story, all epic. You'll brag about your top speed and conveniently forget how long you spent digging out of a ditch. It's your story. Tell it how you want. Think you've done it all? Time to saddle up for a true Kyrgyz experience? Horseback riding in the snow. Meet your steed, a mountain horse with more attitude than your average rental car. Mounting up is a comedy of errors, but once you're on, you feel like a nomadic warrior. For about 5 seconds. The horse starts moving, and suddenly you're clinging on for dear life, bouncing through the snow. The guide rides one-handed, looking bored. You're just trying not to fall off. But as you settle in, something clicks. You trust the horse, and it expertly navigates the snowy terrain. The world goes quiet, just the crunch of hooves and your own breath. No engines, no distractions. Just you, your horse, and the wild. You notice the snow on the trees, animal tracks, and the vast emptiness of the valleys. For a moment, you feel like a true adventurer, part of the landscape, until your horse stops to eat snow and nearly sends you flying. The cold seeps in, numb toes, frozen fingers, but you barely notice. The scenery is too mesmerizing. You cross frozen streams, climb gentle slopes, and take in views straight out of National Geographic. There's a peace here that's hard to describe. You're far from civilization, forced to be present. When the ride ends, you slide off, legs like jelly, but heart full. You pat your horse, grateful for the journey and for not being bucked off. You didn't just see the mountains, you became part of them, if only for a while. You'll be sore for days, but the memory of that silent ride will last a lifetime. For a few moments, you're a nomadic warrior. The rest of the time, you're just cold and trying not to fall. And that's the point. It's about the experience, not perfection. Time to slow things down. Ice fishing on Lake Isikkul, where patience meets pure, freezing endurance. Isikkul is a massive alpine lake, famous for never freezing over, except the bays, where we're headed. You drive onto a frozen expanse, sit on a tiny stool and stare into a hole in the ice, questioning your sanity. The guide drills a hole, hands you a toy-sized rod, and you wait, and shiver. The cold is relentless, but the scenery is stunning. Mountains ring the lake, the ice is a work of art. Fishing is almost secondary. You jig the line, hoping for a bite, but mostly you're just battling the elements. When you finally feel a tug and pull up a fish, it's a moment of primal triumph, no matter the size. But the real magic is in the camaraderie. You and your friends huddled against the wind, sharing stories and hot tea. Local fishermen, seemingly immune to the cold, always catch more and might share a bite or a shot of something strong. As the day ends, you pack up colder than ever, but strangely content. You've spent a day doing something completely out of the ordinary, surrounded by jaw-dropping scenery. Ice fishing here is a test of patience and cold tolerance, but also a chance to disconnect and appreciate the quiet. You'll leave with a new respect for central heating, and a story that makes you sound both tough and a little crazy. The thrill isn't just in the catch, it's in the waiting, the laughter, and the shared experience of being ridiculously, wonderfully cold together. After all that, you've earned a good night's sleep, but not in a hotel. Welcome to winter yurt camping, Kyrgyz style. A yurt is a round felt-covered tent, the traditional home of Central Asian nomads. Cozy in theory, but warm is relative at minus 20 degrees. You arrive at a remote yurt camp, smoke curling from chimneys, and step inside to colorful textiles and a pot-bellied stove, your new best friend. Learn to feed the stove, wood or dried dung, yes really, and for a few hours it's toasty. Dinner is hearty and local, warming you from the inside. Then it's bedtime. You burrow under a mountain of blankets, cocooned against the cold. As the fire dies, the temperature drops. You can see your breath, and every trip to the outhouse is an Arctic sprint. But step outside at night, and you're rewarded with a sky ablaze with stars, the Milky Way brighter than you've ever seen. It's silent, magical, and makes the cold worth it. Morning comes and the first one up restarts the fire, a heroic act. You gather for hot tea, feeling accomplished. You've slept like a nomad and survived the sub-zero night. Yurt camping strips away modern comforts, connecting you to something ancient and real. It's challenging, sometimes uncomfortable, but incredibly rewarding. You don't need a luxury hotel for an unforgettable experience, just a stove, blankets, and a billion stars. When friends brag about infinity pools, you'll have the ultimate story sleeping in a felt tent in the frozen wilderness. Who wins? You do. That's it. The top 5 ways to freeze your way to the adventure of a lifetime in Kyrgyzstan. We skied, snowmobiled, rode horses, fished on ice, and survived a night in a yurt. Exhausted? Absolutely. Changed? Definitely. If you're tired of ordinary vacations, maybe it's time to book a flight to Kyrgyzstan. Just pack extra socks. If you enjoyed this frosty journey, hit like, subscribe, and let me know which adventure you'd actually survive. Because nothing says vacation like losing all feeling in your toes and loving every second. Thanks for watching. See you on the next adventure. Stay warm or don't. It's more fun that way.